Hey guys, this is James, the non-professional, back with another episode of Draw. And today we're doing Joker. I understand it's the third time that I've drawn Joker, but he is a fan favorite. And in this instance, I wanted to recreate an iconic scene, because I've been doing that lately, just basically recreating iconic scenes in my own perspective. But this is Joker in a nurse's outfit just after he blows up the hospital building, after visiting Dent, convincing Dent that justice is a joke and law and order is a joke, and trying to help humanity is a joke, and he should instead seek out vengeance for the against the people that allowed his fiancée to die, namely Batman and all the corrupt people in the Gotham PD. Anyways, I blew through the roughs really quickly. This video is not exactly about the roughs. I mean, the roughs and the lines and the inks. Well, maybe not the inks, but the roughs and the lines are the things that I talk about all the time. Just keeping it loose and keeping it light and bringing concepts to the stage and then refining those things in the lines. But in the inks, I learned a lot of things that I've copied from different comic books that I've seen with regards to colors and how they go about doing inks and then on colors on top of that. So I'll get more into the more technical aspects of the drawing when we get to the colors, which will be pretty soon. But anyways, I wanted to talk about this scene because it's very Joker. There's the thing about Joker is that there's no motivation of any kind of fame. There's no motivation of any kind of dignity. There's no motivation any kind. He's a no motive criminal, and that's what makes him difficult to defeat, because his whole purpose is to basically upend a system that tries to organize itself, upend a system that tries to be civil. And he's trying to say that all of that, all law, order, justice, everything is just a big joke. And that's his character. And he believes that humanity is doomed to destroy itself, and in the efforts to try to stave that off, the Batman efforts to try to stave that off, is useless and futile. So he spends his entire time basically as a villain who just basically tries to create chaos, because nothing is worth saving. Everything's a joke to him, which brilliant character. I think I got his analysis correct, but hey, I'm sure there's a bunch of different interpretations about this character. Anyways, this is the part that I'm talking about here. Ignore the green lines on the arms and the legs, but pay attention to the green lines on the face, because I actually nearly got it wrong. For some reason, I thought his whole body was sort of that pale white, but it isn't. His whole body is actually, he's a clown, so his whole body is just regular, just flesh tone. And then the only thing that is painted is actually his face. At least in the Dark Knight movie, his face is the only thing that was painted. My wife actually pointed out that his whole body isn't white. So anyways, I actually do change the outline of the arms and the legs to a darker brown, because I'm going to go ahead and make it a flesh tone. And the only thing that I keep white is the face. Now, when I look back at the drawing, the thing that seemed odd to me was the perspective of where he's standing with regards, in reference to the building itself. It seems like he's bigger, too big for the scene. And it was difficult for me to get it right, because in order for everything to be proportioned on the screen, you basically have a horizon line, which there is no horizon line on this thing, because the horizon line is actually off frame. And it was difficult for me to line him up, But basically, the camera is just sort of sitting on the ground, and it's sort of looking up towards Joker in this building. And that's why you see Joker in the foreground sort of bigger. It wasn't terrible, the perspective. I don't think it was terrible. Of course, I'm sure if professionals want to, comment on how, bad the perspective is on here, they feel free to do so in the comments. These things are just not things that I've learned. I just sort of watch other people and just hope for the best. So like I said earlier, the horizon line is off screen. So the horizon line, basically the camera is sitting on the floor, a ways back, and his feet have to actually, because the horizon line is the floor, his feet actually have to line up with the bottom of the building. And that's what I try to do. I just try to imagine that the bottom of the building was where his feet are going to be. And, and then drew the rest of the character in proportion to the rest of the building and how much closer he's standing to the camera. But anyways, so just like you just saw, I went ahead and corrected the green lines around his arms and around his legs. And I went ahead and put a darker skin tone or flesh tone, and then And of course, I filled in his arms and legs with an actual flesh tone of beige. So when I watched the actual movie, for some reason, when I chose to do this drawing, I thought that there was a lot of fire in that scene. And when I went and watched it again, there isn't a lot of fire in that scene. It's actually when you see the explosion, you got a lot of white and gray smoke and a lot of black and brown and gray debris just sort of flying everywhere. But you don't have that fire. And the reason why I chose this scene is because I wanted fire. I wanted to do highlights on both sides, on like several light sources around the character, and do highlights in accordance with those light sources. But the scene itself didn't have a whole lot of fire. So you're going to see a lot of changes here. I have like this sort of iridescent orange fire glow that comes from behind the explosion there. And then, of course, I set the scene at night as opposed to during the day like it is in the movie itself. Because, again, this is about me trying to learn how to do colors, and I need to recreate the scene in which you would see a lot more highlights on this guy. So, and there you go. You see the highlights on his skin. I took a yellowish orange, and I on the light sources on both sides, I went ahead and outlined it and put those yellow highlights. And then you see that iridescent glow there, which represents the light source coming from the fire. And of course, I turned it black, put reflections on the window there. And his hair is sort of neon green on the outsides as opposed to entirely neon green, because again, the light source is coming from the left and the right because of the explosions. Anyways, hope you guys learned some things, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Always remember your 3 P's: persistence, patience, perseverance. That's how you mature in any endeavor. Hey guys, if you like my content, please like or comment below. And if you want regular updates, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.